happiness is the smell of freshly baked bread. Today we're making herb bread, gingerbread, carrot bread, and a delicious pumpkin loaf. I've already heated up and I'm letting it cool now. 2 cups of milk. Once it's cooled, I'm then going to add the 6 tablespoons of cake yeast. Cake yeast is basically a soft refrigerated fresh yeast, so it comes in the block versus the yeast in the bag. So I have 6 tablespoons of that, and then I will add that. I'm gonna add 4 tablespoons of sugar to that as well, but I will let that cool for a moment. But right now, I am going to add the 1/4 cup shortening to the mixer. I have the dough hook in the mixer. I'm gonna go ahead and add the yeast and the sugar. I'm going to whisk it. It should dissolve, hopefully. Gonna go ahead and add this mixture now to the shortening in the mixer. Gonna put it on a medium. Now I'm cracking in 2 eggs, half the flour, one teaspoon of salt, remaining flour, 4 teaspoons of caraway seed, 2 teaspoons of dried sage, 1½ teaspoon of nutmeg. So this is what your dough should look like. It should form a dough ball. I'm now going to cover it and leave it for about 20 minutes to let it double in size. Hi, so we're back and it has doubled in size since we last put it in there. Sprinkle some flour down on the surface so it doesn't stick. And then dump it in. Sprinkle the top. Then knead it for a few seconds. Basically what I do is I usually pull it away from me and bring it back in and fold it in. I'm gonna then put this onto the baking sheet. Gonna then score the top of it diagonally. 1, 2, 3. I'm then gonna let this double in size, and then once it's doubled in size, you then bake it for 1 hour at 375. I will be back with the completed bread and ready to slice into it. All right, guys, let's see how the bread turned out. Okay, it's a little on the large side. Let's cut into it, shall we? Ooh, still warm. Just gonna go for the big slab. Give it a try. The caraway seeds and the sage, and then you get a hit of nutmeg. It's very good. Hi guys, welcome back. So today we're going to be cooking one of the handwritten recipes, gingerbread. And on the back of it, it said July 1962. That was a while ago. But let's get started. So first things first, we're gonna cream together the shortening and the brown sugar. There's about 3/4 cup of shortening and about same for brown sugar. We go ahead and crack the 2 eggs. add them one by one. I'm gonna go ahead and add Grandma's molasses. Shout out to them. Always use them for any of my gingerbread recipes. Now I'm gonna add 1 teaspoon of cinnamon. Shout out to McCormick's Spices. Use them all the time. I'm gonna add 1 teaspoon of cloves. And then I like to do a heaping teaspoon of ginger, usually over. And now I'm going to gradually start adding the 2 cups of flour. I'm going to now add 2 teaspoons of baking powder. And then half a teaspoon of salt. I'm now adding 1 cup of boiling water to the mixture. Oh, I wish there was a smell-o-vision that you could smell this right now. I love gingerbread. Love anything ginger, to be quite honest. The other person who used to love ginger was my grandfather, too. We're gonna pop it into the pan. And then I have the oven preheating at 350, and I'm gonna bake it for about 45 minutes to an hour. We'll be back shortly when it's done. It smells like Christmas time. I wish it was Christmas time. Here it is. What I'm gonna do to finish with it is I'm gonna actually slice up some crystallized ginger. Sprinkling the candied ginger on top. Let's give it a try. That would actually be really nice with a cup of Earl Grey tea. Let's get started. I'm going to finish off grating the last few carrots. You're going to need probably about 2 cups of carrots, finely grated.
How do you do that without cutting your hand?
So you basically use the palm of your hand versus the crimp of your hand, because you're more likely to, or like this, because you will grate your knuckles or you will grate your fingers. I always to keep your hand flat. All right, so we're gonna go ahead and dump everything in. We're gonna actually start with the vegetable oil. There's 3/4 of a cup with 1 cup of white sugar. Look at those delicious ingredients. And then add the eggs one at a time. It's about to make the most incredible bread. Little eggs. One trick that I've always been taught with the eggs is when you whack it on the edge of your counter, it actually makes the cut much straighter and less likely to shatter. This is the best part. I get to use my favorite vanilla. It makes my house smell so good. A teaspoon of cinnamon, 1.5 teaspoons of baking soda, 1/4 teaspoon of salt. I'm now adding in 1.5 cups of flour. And I'm also going to add the carrots. Get them carrots in. And while that incorporates, I'm going to slowly chop up 1/2 cup of walnuts. All right, I'm going to go ahead and add this to the mixer. I always like to make this on Easter morning. It goes really nicely with a cup of coffee. And then the one thing that I was wanting to do and add it to the recipe, doesn't ask for it, but I was going to do a 1/4 cup of golden raisins. I really love golden raisins. I just really have always liked carrot cake or anything like that, but I just thought it would be a nice little, especially when it bakes in the oven, it will be nice and a little pop of sweet when you take a bite of it. All right, going to use my trusty pan spray. Use a standard loaf pan. I have the oven temp preheated at 350, and we're gonna bake this for about 30 to 45 minutes. All right, gonna put this back in the oven for 30 minutes. Stay tuned. As you can tell, we've got the carrot cake all done and it's cooled, so it's now time to cutting into it. Trusty Pam working its magic, coming out like a charm. A slice of this toasted with a bit of butter, oh, so good. There it is. You can see the golden raisins, the walnuts, the carrots. Let's give it a try. It's my favorite part. Or a cream cheese glaze, that would be great too. Yeah, that's really good. Stay tuned for some more. Bye. Today we're going to be baking one of the handwritten recipes, pumpkin cake. Let's get started. First, we're going to mix together 1 1/4 cups of vegetable oil with 2 cups of sugar, 4 eggs, All right, you're gonna put it on for a medium speed, mix it and incorporate. I'm now going to go ahead and incorporate my spices and my baking soda to my flour. There's 2 teaspoons of pumpkin pie spice and then 1 teaspoon of cinnamon and then 1 teaspoon of baking soda. Putting it back on for a low medium speed. Gonna put it back on at a low speed. I'm gonna go ahead and now gradually add it to my bundt pan. I'm gonna pop it in the oven for about an hour at 350. All right, let's see how it is. Delicious. Take a sniff. I don't need to take a sniff any closer. The house smells like Halloween.
A few moments later.
All right, it's the time that my entire team have been begging me to do. It's time to unmold this. So I'm gonna throw this on top. And then 1, 2, 3. And it should plop out. It smells so good. Okay, I try now.
This is the pumpkin.
Oh my god. Be Halloween already?
You don't have to. It's our, we're here. I want to eat it, so cut.
Hi guys, if you liked all of those recipes, hit all of those buttons below. Send me a comment. I'd love to have you guys along for this ride. Love you guys. Bye.